Recurring dreams are the strangest thing ever. We know nothing about them, why they happen, what they mean, and yet a majority of people have experienced them in their lifetime. Recurring dreams are also vastly different from person to person. Some may have a funny dream, that when they awaken, they begin laughing, just remembering it. Another person may have a weird dream that when they awaken, causes them to question themselves. How the hell did my brain come up with that? They'll ask themselves. Finally, some people may experience a sad dream, maybe reliving their last moments with a deceased loved one. Unfortunately, I don't fall into any of these categories. Instead of getting recurring dreams, I sadly get recurring nightmares. I wish I had funny dreams or weird dreams. Hell, I'd even take sad dreams, but I seem to be stuck with creepy, scary nightmares instead. I started to get this recurring nightmare about a year ago, and it has continued every night since. It started out simple enough. I would find myself in a long, dark hallway. The only light I could see would be at the far end of the hallway. The light came from 2 torches on either side of a heavy-looking wood door. In this dream, I would walk down the hallway until I would reach the door. The dream would end when my hand would reach up and go to push open the door. I never got to see what was on the other side of the door. Until 2 weeks ago, that is. 2 weeks ago, I fell asleep and found myself in that oh-so-familiar hallway. Only this time, I noticed 2 things were different about the dream. The first, as I looked down the hallway towards the door, where once was only 2 torches, and the door. Now that scene also contained a plaque on the wall next to the door, just underneath one of the torches. I couldn't see what was on it, but I saw that the metal of the plaque was an insanely dark black color. It was so dark that it seemed to suck all the light from the torch into it. The second thing I noticed was how I was feeling. Where once I felt boredom and a little annoyance at having the same boring dream over and over again, now I feel fear. Not just a small jolt like when there's a jump scare in a movie, but a deep, primal fear. Like there was a predator stalking me, and I needed to run away as fast as I could. I needed to do something fast, or else something terrible would happen to me. This feeling made the hair on the back of my neck stand up, and it terrified me. Like the dream normally did, I felt myself beginning to walk forwards towards the door. With each step, the fear and dread seemed to deepen, and even make me feel sick to my stomach. I tried to fight it, but it felt as if something else was forcing me to walk forward. Each step felt like I was walking closer and closer to my death, or something. I don't know what's worse than death, but I was terrified to find out. When I reached the door, the dread I felt was overwhelming. The pit in my stomach made me sick, and I was positive I was going to throw up, but I somehow managed to keep it down. As I looked at the door, I noticed it had changed this time too. Where used to be a heavy wooden door, now stood a door made of pitch black metal. It sucked in the light and gave off almost an aura. The door now seemed evil. That was not the only thing to change about the door. What once was a plain door now had intricate carvings on it. The carvings depict people committing different acts. One carving showed people gorging themselves on food and drinks. They were depicted as inhumanely large, and they seemed to even fight over every little morsel of food. Another depicted people committing acts of extreme violence towards others. It showed war and torture. It showed people being basically consumed by anger and hate, essentially becoming animals and trying to inflict as much harm as they could. A third carving showed people committing different sexual acts, from more simple acts to the most heinous you could think of. It showed everything from simple acts of lovemaking to terrible acts Like necrophilia, they were all displayed on this carving. The fourth showed me jealousy and bitterness. A man hated another because the man liked the other's wife. Another watched what seemed to be their ex-partner laugh with someone else, a look of anger and jealousy on their face. The fifth showed me people hoarding money. They betrayed others and did everything they could to gain more. They never helped others, only themselves. They needed the money. The sixth carving was the second from the top of the door. This one just depicted people looking down. It seemed as if they were observing all the other atrocities being committed on the door. The only expression they had was a look of boredom or apathy as they watched what all others did. The last carving was at the top of the door, and unlike the others, it was oddly beautiful. It depicted a beautiful city in the clouds. The architecture seemed to be Pieces P,